There is a type of man that you will encounter anywhere. They talk a lot, know a lot, but can't change anything in their lives. They are always right in arguments, but wrong in the way they live. And the saddest thing is, they don't know they are living wrong. Today, I want to tell you a story. Not to judge anyone, but so that we, for once, stop and ask ourselves, am I living like a sane person? Or am I just drifting through life in my own delusion? There are men who go through life as if they knew everything. They argue well, talk as if they are always right, and never seem to ask themselves, am I wrong? Min is such a person. He is proud that he reads many books, has sharp arguments, and is always ready to refute anyone who dares to doubt his point of view. But strangely enough, Min's life went nowhere. His career stagnated, his relationships fell apart, and the feeling of loneliness grew stronger in the room he called temporary success. One rainy afternoon, Min sat in a familiar coffee shop. He was engrossed on his phone, typing a long comment to refute someone in the philosophy debate group, when a strange man sat down next to him. The man was old, quiet, and didn't seem like someone who wanted to talk, but his eyes looked at Min, not cold, not pity, just a quiet look full of experience. "You argue well," he said, "but do you ever really listen?" Min was stunned. That's not a compliment, nor is it a blame, just a question. And strangely enough, it made his mind go silent. Before Min could respond, he quietly stood up, leaving behind a small, neatly folded piece of paper that smelled of light tea. That night, for the first time in many years, Min did not look at his phone before going to sleep. He opened the paper, reading each line as if reading it himself. "Are you living like a fool? A fool is not someone who lacks intelligence, but someone who lives with the wrong mindset." He continued reading. Each line is like a touch on the crack that has long been silently cracking in his soul. Always wanting to be right instead of learning how to listen. Trusting luck instead of practicing discipline. Spending time on meaningless battles, then forgetting the things that can change your life. Putting emotions above facts. Repeating old mistakes. And finally, being surrounded by people who keep you stuck in the same place. None of the lines are new to Min, but never have they appeared so clearly. He remembered how many times he ruined conversations just because of ego. How many times have you been jealous of others and then said, "They're just lucky"? So many times he gets angry, reacts, blames, but never looks in the mirror. He once loved the wrong person, invested in the wrong place, and was deceived by empty promises. And every time I tell myself, I'm just unlucky. But never once did he really stop to ask, where did I go wrong? He kept repeating that vicious cycle, hoping the results would be different. Every time he fails, he just needs an excuse, and he always has a few in his pocket. He thought about his friends, the people who always told him, forget it, live comfortably. They also did nothing. They gather, complain, and then the whole group sinks into the stagnation known as accepting fate. Min folded the paper, his hands shaking. A sense of shame crept into his heart, but unlike before, this time he didn't want to hide from it. "I want to look straight," he realized. The problem was not who treated him badly, but the way he lived, unconsciously, full of illusions and lacking courage. That night, he didn't turn on the computer, don't surf the internet. He didn't write a status, didn't say anything. He just sat down and wrote in an old notebook that he had forgotten for a long time. "Tomorrow, I will start listening. Not to win, but to understand." And he really did. The next morning, for the first time, he woke up earlier than usual. No rush, no excuses. He put on running shoes and ran around the park as if he wanted to escape his old shell. He called his mother, not to tell stories, but to hear her tell old stories. He was silent before the comments from his colleagues, and for the first time in his life, he nodded and said, "Thank you. I will think again." Things don't change overnight. But Min changed little by little. He reread the books he had left unfinished. He gradually replaced empty conversations with meaningful relationships. He learned to slow down, listen both outside and inside himself. Sometimes he tripped. There are times when the old ego resurfaces, but now he knows how to stop, take a deep breath and ask, "What's right? Not what makes me feel good." Min is no longer the man who always thinks he is right. He's not perfect, but he's sane. And being sober, sometimes, is the first step to adulthood. What about you? If any part of this story is you, then know, it is never too late to start living like a wise man. You don't have to change everything today. Just don't close your eyes anymore. You probably won't change after one story. But if this story makes you shut up a little, think a little more, and start listening to yourself, that's a huge step. Because a wise man is not the one who has never made mistakes, but the one who dares to face mistakes and chooses not to repeat them again. If you feel this story touches you, don't forget to leave a comment, click like, and share with someone who needs an awakening touch in life. Because who knows, you might be the reason someone starts living differently. Starting today,